You're near Wassa, practicing your private pilot maneuvers. Suddenly the visibility around the airport drops down. You can't see the airport anymore, you can't see Red Mountains, you need to get back. We're going to demonstrate VOR navigation for this scenario. Looking at your map, you know you're somewhere in this area. You don't know where, and you want to get back here. We could just fly a heading and hope for the best, but let's use radio navigation to be a little more accurate. So we'll look at the VOR next to Wassa and look at the frequency next to that. The frequency is 111.6, and the Morse code is over here. So we'll look up at our navigational radio. We'll use the 430 for this. We'll go to the lower frequency, or VLOC, which is our navigational radio, and we'll put in 111.6. .6 is set. We're going to flip that into primary. It's in primary. Then we're going to push the volume knob in to identify it. And up on our audio panel, press nav 1 to let it come through the intercom. We should hear the Morse code. There was the Morse code. Make sure it matches what's on the chart. It looks like it does. So we're on the right one. Now we'll turn off that pesky Morse code. Flip that back. So now we have the VOR tuned and identified. Now we need to track towards it. So we'll take the OBS knob and we'll turn it. Well, first we'll make sure this is in VOR or VLOC. So now it's working with the navigational radio. Then we're going to take the CDI and we're going to turn it until the needle centers with a 2 flag. All right, so the needle is centered and we have a 2 indication and there are no flags. So we're good. If we fly this heading out the top of the CDI, we'll get to Wassa. So down here, we'll set the heading to 150. All right, we're turning to 150. We'll look up. Looks like we're tracking in that direction. I'm going to use the GPS to help you visualize what this would look like. The pink line represents the radial we've selected. We've selected the 150 bearing and the 330 radial to the VOR. The pink line represents that radial. Normally, we wouldn't have the GPS in this case. So you'll notice we're a little off course on the pink line, or the magenta line. That corresponds to what we see on the CDI. The CDI shows we're off to the left of course, or this is your course, and this is where you are, and the GPS agrees with that. So we need to intercept this needle to make sure we're staying right on course. To do that, we need to turn towards the needle. Move our airplane towards the needle. The way I like to do it is look up at the heading the needle is pointing at and fly to that. Or just fly to any heading in that direction. You don't want to try to intercept too steep, but about 30 to 40 degrees is a decent intercept angle. So I'll set the intercept angle. We'll turn towards the needle. And if you look at the GPS, you can see we're headed towards the needle now. All right, so now we just need to intercept that needle and fly it to get to Wassa. To visualize it on the map, we selected the 150-2 indication, so we are on this side of the VOR, and we're flying towards the VOR. As we fly towards the VOR, we're going to fly right past the Wassa airport, which is what we want. We want to be able to look out our left window and see the airport. So we'll look back up. We are intercepting our course line. The needle is coming closer to the center, and over here we're getting closer to the pink line. Once we get right on the needle, we'll turn to a heading that will keep the needle in the center, probably right about 150. Alright, the needle is almost centered, so I'm going to slowly start turning back towards 150. And then fly whatever heading it takes to keep the needle centered. If the wind is strong from the right, we'll have to turn a little bit more into the needle to hold it in the center. If it's strong from the left, we'll have to turn a little bit this way to hold the needle in the center. We're pretty close right now. The needle's almost in the center and we're right on the GPS course line, or a little bit off to the left, but that's acceptable for trying to get out of a bad situation. Let's take a look up. Well, we still can't see Rib Mountain, but we know it's close because we got the VOR tuned in and we know we're going towards it. We also know, since we have 330 at the bottom of the CDI, that we are somewhere to the north of the VOR on the 330 radial. With a to indication, the radial you're on is down here. With a from indication, the radial you're on is up here. The GPS tells us we're getting close. Otherwise, we wouldn't know that, though. Let's take a look outside and speed the sim up a little bit. We're looking for the airport off our left side. Oh, we see some buildings. The town is coming into view. We must be close. Let's just keep flying the radial, though, to make sure we don't get lost. Just off our left side, the Wausau Airport is coming into view. And there's Rib Mountain over there. So we just use radio navigation to get ourselves out of a bind. If we didn't have a GPS and only VORs, we could have done this today.